You don't have to be a Sony or a Target to be a target. The network at Santa Ana Unified School District is constantly being bombarded with malicious traffic from hackers on the internet. What are they after? It could be as simple as wanting to use a lab computer at Saddleback to launch a cyber attack, or they may want to try and get personnel records from our systems. To launch a cyber attack, hackers often create zombie armies that are called botnets that use different computers to send spam and/or viruses out. Owners of these computers usually don't know their computers have been compromised. Due to the large number of computers that we maintain at our district, we become a target for these hackers. School districts have been known for lax security, and hackers want to take advantage of that. When hackers want sensitive information, they look for ways to infiltrate the network. Once inside, they'll work their way to business systems that may contain the type of information that they're after. They use known exploits in software to gain access to systems which could contain vital information. Before I get into the network security, I want to provide a really quick tutorial on network traffic. All network traffic, whether it's email, a voice over IP phone call, or a website, is broken down into small packets. Each packet is generally only 1,500 bytes. Given that there are 8 bits in a byte, that means each packet is equal to 12,000 bits. Why is this important? It's not. But it is important to know all network traffic is transmitted using packets. Furthermore, network traffic is transported through the use of different protocols. One such protocol is the Internet Protocol, or IP. This is the same IP that's used in voice over IP. IP is a layer 3 protocols. There are 7 layers in networking, much like there are in the nacho dip I make for my fancy parties. You may also have heard of TCP/IP. Well, TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. TCP is a layer 4 protocol. This information will come in handy later. So what are we doing to prevent unauthorized access into our network? Well, for starters, we have a pretty robust firewall that acts as a security guard for our network. A firewall is a network device that checks traffic going into and out of the network. Firewalls generally work at layers 2, 3, and 4 of the network. See, I told you that information would come in handy. If traffic originates from within our network, like when you want to look at a website, it knows to let the return traffic back into our network. However, if someone tries to connect to our network from the outside coming in, the firewall wouldn't allow it and would block each packet before it enters into the network. Sometimes legitimate traffic needs to come into our network. Email is a good example of that. When you receive an email from someone, that traffic needs to make its way into the network. In that case, the firewall has specific rules that we configure. These rules specify what traffic we will allow into our network. The firewall checks every packet against the rules we put in place before it allows the packet in. As a school district, it's important that we don't let our kids, and maybe even our grown-ups, go to websites that they shouldn't be going into. To this aim, we have a content filter that looks at the types of websites that's being accessed. If the website is a naughty website, for example, it will block access to the site by performing a TCP reset, which stops your web browser from going to the naughty website. We are also protecting our network with antivirus malware software on the district's computers. It is almost impossible to predict the newest virus. Virus writers are often a step ahead of the software, and new viruses are constantly being released that current antivirus software can't even recognize. That's what the virus writers do. Therefore, unfortunately, a brand new virus is found and cautioned after the virus has already been executed. Just in case you are the one who will be the very first victim of the newest virus, backing up your files and data is the wise and safest way to protect the information on your computer. We're also working on adding other devices to further enhance the security of the network. One of these devices is called an intrusion prevention system, or an IPS. An IPS looks at the traffic passing into the network to see if there is anything strange that shouldn't be there. For example, an IPS can detect and block those botnets that I mentioned before. What can you do to prevent unauthorized access into our network? Be smart. Think before you click. and take the course.